Okay,
Okay.
now we're on Chaf Aleph 21. Hein teva archa l'shluvach uksiv kula mata Nebuchadnezzar malka. All of these curses occurred to Nebuchadnezzar. Uksiv liktsas yachin treyas are 12 months. So you see, there's a concept that this whatever schus Nebuchadnezzar had, because he acted as a shaliach of Hashem to destroy the base of Mikdash, prevented these punishments for 12 months. So we have a three-way machlokas. None of them say 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, right? So the Gemara says, "Lo'olam Rabbi Shmuel, Ashka Kroda Amar V'Tani," that there's a pasuk that says it could last even 3 years. Diksiv Ko Amar Hashem al Shlosha Pishei Edom. So they could last another 3 years. Umay Afal Pishei Meradav Ezechel. Damadil Mashani Nachum D'Lomav Kedin Alayu. Maybe you need another pasuk because maybe by Goyim, Hashem doesn't have a relationship with non-Jews like he has with Jews. Similar to Nagoyim. We learned yesterday about Nigei Batim, Nigei Bgodim. It only happens in Eretz Yisrael because Hashem has a special relationship. It doesn't happen in Chutz La'aretz. Same thing here we might have thought. But so there's no raya, there's no complete raya, because maybe God would be more lenient with Goyim. Okay. So the Mishnah says, Yesh schus toila shalosh shanim. Her merits can make her live 3 years. Schus tamai. Ilem is schus to Torah, because we said she learns Torah. Hai eina mitzvah v'oisahi. How much merit could there be? She's not obligated to study Torah. Ella schus to mitzvah. She does mitzvos. Frankly, more schus mitzvah mi magna kulahai. Can the merit of a mitzvah protect you? Vatanya. As Zu Darsh Rab Nachem Bar Yossi. He ner mitzvah, Torah or. Mitzvah is like a candle. Torah is like the sun. Tolos HaKosov is a mitzvah the ner. That's a Torah ba'or. As a mitzvah ner lo mechol ma ner. Ein meginel l'fisha. A candle only gives you light while it's burning. Af mitzvah ein meginel l'fisha. A mitzvah only protects you temporarily. That's a Torah ba'or. Lo mechol ma or megin la'olam. The sun always shines. Af Torah megin la'olam. The Torah, if you have schus Torah, it protects you forever. The oimer, b'yisalechecha tanche oisa. B'yisalechecha tanche oisa ze olam hazeh. Torah protects you in this world. B'shachka tishmar alecha zu misa. Protects you after death. V'akitzoisa hif tishichicha zas losid lavo. In Yimos HaMashiach. Mashal adam shayim alech b'yishon laila b'afeilim. It's like a man walking in the dark. He's afraid of thorns and openings in the ground. From wild animals and from armed robbers. He doesn't know how to walk on the road. He gets a torch of fire, so he can see a little bit. He can avoid thorns and holes in the ground, but vadayin, it doesn't prevent Misyar Mechai Rom and Alistis. He still doesn't know which road to take. Even Sha'ala Amr Shachar, once the sun comes out, so the wild animals don't bother people in the sun, and armed robbers also don't rob it in this daytime. Nitzl Mechai Rom and Alistis. He still doesn't know, because he gila parshas drachim. If he's in a fork in the road, he knows which way to go if he has Torah. Nitzel mekula. Davar acher. Aveira mekabe mitzvah. If a person has aveiros, that can extinguish the flame of mitzvah. However, ein aveira mekabe Torah. It's better to have the schus of Torah, because committing aveiros does not extinguish the light of day of Torah. Shenemar, Mayim Rabim lo yichlu l'chabois sahaba, and that refers to learning Torah. Amref Yosef. Practically, what does that mean? Mitzvah be'idna da'asik, but when you're doing the mitzvah megana, it protects you from punishment, and matzlah saves you from the Yetzer Hara. However, the idnad lo asik, when you're not actually performing the mitzvah, agna megana, it still protects you from punishment, but it doesn't protect you from the Yetzer Hara. Torah is different. Whether you're learning Torah or not learning Torah, it's megana umatzla. It protects you from punishment and prevents your Yetzer Hara from diverting you. Maski florata, elamayata doeg vachi toifel, the great enemies of David HaMelech that we learned about in the Novi Shir. Milo Aski Bator, we learned that they were big Tamei Chachamim. They led the Sanhedrin. Amai lo higina layim. They were not protected from sinning. You just said that the Torah protects you from your Yetzer Hara. Ela Amar Rava. Torah b'din dasik bo magnum matzah. Rava fine-tuned the understanding. While you're studying Torah, it prevents you from punishment, and you're saved from your Yetzer Hara. Be'inad the lo yasik bo aguni matzi atzuli. Agune magnet prevents you from punishment, but atzuli matzla. But it doesn't prevent you from your Yetzer. So doeg rachi tofel, when they were not studying Torah, the Yetzer Hara could make them do evil things. Now, mitzvah, this is Rava's clarification of what Rav Yosef learned. Bein beidin asik ba, bein beidin lo asik ba. Mitzvah, whether you're doing the mitzvah or not doing the mitzvah, aguni magna tulat matzah, you're protected, but it doesn't save you from your Yetzer Hara, even when you're doing the mitzvah. Now, Ravina Omar, Loilam, what is it that protects women? Schus Torah. With the Ka'amrit, Eine Mitzvah v'oisa, how could she get big schar? She's not commanded to learn. Need the Kurila Mifkida. Fine. She's not Mitzvah. But she gets reward that she learns, and she helps her children go to yeshiva. That natron l'gavavraya the asmei midrasha, and they wait patiently for their husbands to come home from the yeshiva. So milo pagin badayu. So they divide the reward that their husbands and sons are getting from learning. They get half of it. That's enough to protect the sota. Now, the Gemara doesn't understand my Parshas Drachim. What did you mean that the Talmid Chacham gets to a fork in the road and he knows which way to go? Amar Chizda. Zeh Talmid Chacham v'Yomi Sotah. So Talmid Chacham has light during his life, and the day of his death, that's the Parshas Drachim, and he's going to know very clearly which direction he goes. That's talking about a Talmid Chacham who was also Yiras Chet, that the learning of his Torah caused him to live a good life. A Talmid Chacham who's been Zocheh, that his Torah has come out to actually psak halacha. Dover acher. Another thing we learned from that piece of Torah, aver mechaber mitzvah, v'narcham Torah, that sin extinguishes the light of mitzvah, but not the light of Torah. On Rav Yosef, Darshan Rav Nachman Bar Yosef Laikra Ki Sinai. He darshaned the following pasuk like Har Sinai. If Doeg Achitophel had darshaned the pasuk the same way, they never would have shepherded with David HaMelech. Deceived. Lemor Elohim Azavo. Radfu v'tafsu k'ein matzio. They thought that Hashem had left David HaMelech. My dorsh. Because it says, "V'lo yira becha ervas davar." By a frum Jew, he shouldn't be caught up in any kind of sexual immorality. And Doeg and Achitofel saw that there was this whole Ma'aseh Bat Sheva. So they learned in Pshat that Hashem had abandoned David. Otherwise, it says, Lo Yereh B'Chayavas Davar. Hashem is not going to see a person who's involved in erva. However, Ein An Yoidim, Shaver Mechabed Mitzvah, Ben Aver Mechabed Torah. David HaMelech had a lot of Torah. And it wasn't enough to extinguish the schuyas that David had from being an Ish Torah. Then we quoted a pasuk in Shir HaShirim, boys lo yavoizu lo, that mayim, water can't extinguish. Omer ulo kashim and achi azarya, ulo krav yechel and veinesiya, ela ki hillel v'shevna. What's this? That means sharing a person who finances a Talmud Chacham should go like this. The Chiyatz Radim Yomar, Hillel v'Shevna achi havu. Hillel v'Shevna, that means Shimon, the brother of Azariah, gave money to his brother to learn Torah. And they divided the schar. But it's preferable to do the way Hillel and Shevna. Hillel and Shevna were brothers. Hillel asak b'Torah, Shevna avad iska. Hillel learned Torah, Shevna did business. Lesof amarle tonar v'lifri. Shevna said, I'll give half of my money to you, and you give me half of your reward. So people should be knowing like that. So there was machlokes. And as I said, you should teach your daughter Torah. And Rabbi Eliezer Omer Kol Laban is bita Torah malamdo tiflus. Either teaches sexuality or it's nus. The Rambam learns it means sort of a waste of time. Right? The more tiflus talk that. How could you learn Torah? It means nus. Ela ema ki'ilu limda tiflus. It's as if it was done that way. My time, Rabbi Eliezer. Where did Rabbi Eliezer get this? T'chsiv. Ani chochma shochanti orma. I'm wisdom. I learned how to be clever. A woman learns how to meet up with an adulterer secretly, whatever, through limud Torah, because they're going to get smart that way. Now, Rabbanon, who argue, right? Ben Azai, who says you should teach your daughter Torah. Hi, ani chacham. What do they do with that possible? And they learn a different. They say Torah is only this kind of somebody who got poor to the point where he has no clothing. Torah, you have to be an anav. You have to, get rid of all possessions. You find it in somebody that doesn't have anything. That a woman would rather have less parnasa and more znus than having a lot of parnasa. A person would be willing to keep up with, to live with less material assets, but there's some znus involved, metishas kabinu prishus, than a lot of money, but having to live a tznius life. He gave examples of people that end up destroying the world. What's a foolish chassid? He sees a woman bathing at a river. A woman is drowning, and he can save her. And he says, it's not tznius for me to go save her. I'm going to see her. She's not wearing any clothing to save her life. That's a chassid short. You're a chassid, but you're foolish, and you should save her. Hechidami Rasha Aram. What does it mean? A cunning Rasha. Two litigants come to court. One litigant tells his whole thing to one of the dayans without the second person there. So that's you're a Russia. An ani is no longer considered an ani if he has 200 zuz. So he's allowed to go to community chest. He can get leket, shikha, pay, all the various gifts to an ani apply when he reaches, but once he reaches a certain fiscal level, he's not entitled to it. So if a guy has 199 zuz, he's entitled to all the benefits. You give him one zuz, you make kala for him. So you're a Rosh Arum. It's not. You're not allowed to get all these gifts given to the poor people. Dinner. If you have 199, somebody comes around and gives him 1,000 zuz gift, he's allowed to take it. Rav Asi and Rav Yechon gives a different interpretation of what is a Rosh Arum. Halacha is, if a person dies with very little assets, which is not enough to give parnasa to his daughters and to give over for his sons to inherit, so all the assets go for the daughters. And the sons have to go knocking on doors for charity. So if a person gives an eitzah for a person to sell his assets to make nechasim watim, it's giving him bad advice. If the heirs went ahead and sold assets when they were very small assets, it's still a sale, you can't reverse it. And they get the money. So he's a Rasha because he's causing the daughters to lose out their parnasa. Abaye Omar gives a different shot. Who advises people to sell assets like Rosh Gamliel to Tanya. The person says, after I die, my assets will go to you. And then when you die, it goes to the other person. The Yard Arisha Mochav, and the guy who got the first Yerusha sold everything. The guy who's supposed to inherit the second time is allowed to go to the purchasers who purchased from the first guy and take it away from him, because in essence he had some rights there. The second guy only gets what is left after the first guy did whatever he wanted with it. So if you advise according to Rav Shimon Gamliel to sell, you're giving bad advice for the second guy. Rav Yosef Rav Sheish he advises people to do like what he does, and all his intent was to show what kind of tzaddik he is. He's not doing it for the Shem Shemaim, he's doing it to show what a tzaddik he is. He paskins leniently for himself, he's machmir for other people. Okay, stop here. So we're going to teach 9